Alright. Hello everybody. Happy Merry Christmas Eve's Eve. Christmas Eve tomorrow. Starting here on the login screen, I want to show you something. I've been thinking about it, and I have decided to go ahead and fully transform this series and this world into a full hardcore boy, I said that weird. Full hardcore mode. So, I've got my character here, Ragheimer, the partaker of Ragheim, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off portals and turn off map. If you've been following along in this series so far on the streams on this, I initially left the portals on and I left the map on, mostly because I am planning to have this world take over as my single-player world. I have our multiplayer server that I play on, and have finished the game on that, and that's kind of my world that I play on with my daughters and friends and family and stuff. And then I wanted a single-player world that I could pause on and stuff like that, and that I can play separately with these settings. I've decided to go ahead and fully dive in and take off portals and the map, because I'm enjoying this slower pace of taking things, seriously and carefully, and I think this ultimately plays into my goals with that, and colonizing the map and stuff, not relying on portals and doing more with like sailing and creating paths and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into that. I'm still not turning on. I'm still not doing permadeath in this series. So if I die, then I lose my items. The typical hardcore stuff. But I'm not turning this into a permadeath series. I die too much for that to happen. So, but if I do die, I still lose all my stuff. So turning off portals, turning off the map, leaving the resource rate at double, which is what I changed it to last time. And yeah. So as we're loading in here, I want to show you I have made some pretty decent progress on my base. Small progress. I finished up my bridge, so I'll show you that first. This bridge is what I had started working on last time, and it was half done. I've since fully finished it, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So it is still safe from monsters coming up for two reasons. One, I did this because I was carrying stuff. I was full encumberment and just kind of waddling up there with all my stuff here. But one, there's gate doors if I need to. And then the second thing, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I played around with having like trapdoors, using doors to open and close and stuff, but things were still walking across. I didn't like having to open it and close it all the time. So I created this one gap, and what's cool is I tested it. Even the big monsters and stuff, trolls, they can't even fit in this in the first place, but the brutes and the shaman and stuff like that, they don't even try to go over this. Nothing does. And what's cool is that you can just run over it, and you can even just walk over it. Like, I'm not holding shift right now, and you don't fall in as long as you're holding the W key and you're moving at normal movement. Now if you slow down and stuff, you will fall through it, but for normal movement speeds, it's pretty cool. And then if I bring a cart up through here or something like that, then I'll just add in, I'll add in a little bit of floor just for that moment. So that's the bridge. Next I'll show you, yes, there's a house. I will come back to that. I'll show that last. The walls, I went ahead and built these up a little bit. I was having problems with things coming up the side and stuff like that, and so I went ahead and knocked out two birds with one stone. I built up the wall to be about as tall as me, was the goal, all the way across. And then that also simultaneously fixed a lot of the pathing problems up the side here. So I've been raided several times, nothing's been able to make it up here, so that's been awesome. So later on I might add a decorative wall on top with a catwalk and stuff like that. But for right now, this is definitely doing the trick. And then I did create a dock for my boat. I chose this side because, first of all, the water's deeper over here. And then, for right now, when the raids happen, things are spawning over here on this island, and then over here on this island. So this is the furthest away from that, so things have to swim much farther to mess with my boat and stuff. Unfortunately, they are still messing with my boat and stuff sometimes. So every now and then I have to come over here and just give my boat a little tap and make sure that it's all repaired. Later on, I might work on making this a little safer, which I don't know how I would do that. Maybe build it out further or build an enclosure around it. I'm not sure. But this is my little dock area that I've got for my carve. And then as we upgrade to a longboat and then a Drakkar and stuff like that, I will also be upgrading this dock, both in size and maybe further out where it's a little bit deeper and stuff, and I'll be digging as much as I can around and stuff. But for right now, it is doing its job. The house. Okay, so I have fully moved out of my other house. I'd open my map and show you, but I can't. I just turned it off. But I have fully moved out of my other house. It has now been completely cleared out. I didn't tear it down or anything, and I did leave a cauldron that I had built over there, so that if I'm over on that side, I can maybe use that to make some food. But this house, I cannot take any credit for this house at all. I'll link it in the description. I'll link it in the description, but it is a guide. The video name is Early Endgame Base, and he built it inside of like a stone circle, but I copied his build and I really like it. I like the efficiency of it. So a little tour of it. So as you enter, this first room is the storage room, and I'm going to put some signs and stuff. I just didn't have coal handy to do that. But I'm going to have these sorted based on biome. He had it sorted so it was like meadows, for example, then black forest, then swamp, and that way it covers all 8 biomes. I use a lot of storage, so I might have all of this be meadows, for example, and then all of this be black forest. But I do like the method of sorting by biome. That's how I've already been doing things, just a little bit messier. Upstairs here is the bedroom, which I need to add some more stuff. But you get the bedroom. And then here you have the balcony for nice views of the forest and stuff. You can go all the way around here and see both land masses, which is really nice. And then down here, you've got more storage, and then like almost like a little bathroom kind of deal with closet with more storage, which is cool. And then right here, this is the crafting room. So I've got the workbench, and then I'm going to be putting the forge as well. Later on, you can have the Galder table and the black forge. And then the reason this is built up is so that down here below, you can put all of the upgrades hidden down below, which is really a cool idea. I like that a lot. And then storage up here. And then down on this side, you've got the kitchen and storage up above. I'm going to be putting my fermenters and stuff right here. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that, and now we're fully moved in. Obviously, you can see I've got piles of junk all over. I need to sort things into its respective storage. I was just kind of quickly, bringing things over. And so we'll go ahead and tear that down because we don't need that portal anymore. What's up, NB? This island existed, but not like this at all. So it looked like a normal island, like that might, for example. It just wasn't very connected to the other island. I had to swim across to it. And it was pretty decent sized to... Oh, we're getting raided. It was pretty decent sized, which is why I picked it. And then from there, what I did is it had lots of these kind of flat, big rocks, like 6 of them. I went ahead and broke those down and used the stone from that to expand it out. So I took my hoe and I flattened out as much as I could with the hoe. And then after that, let me find my hoe. It's somewhere in this big mess of stuff. Oh, look at that. Found it right away. So, for example, you would, just over here. So you flatten it out with the level ground tool, and then as you're expanding it out, you use the raise ground and you just kind of hit it on the edge and stuff, and then just keep expanding it out until it was the size that I wanted, or until I ran out of shallow ground. And then from there, I would go and let's artificially make an example. Let's say that things are really lumpy and stuff. I would go and I would level out the ground, and as you hit a section like this where it's indented, you just raise ground a little bit, and then you flatten it after that. And if you added too much or something like that, then you would then you just hit it once or twice with your pickaxe and continue to level it until it is as flat as you want it. So that's what I did. So yeah, this island that I made, expanded or whatever you want to call it, it took a lot of work. It's hours upon hours of work. But I'm well set up for success now. I'm not immune to raids. And I can fill this up with different buildings and farms and things that I need. So yes, the island existed, but it took a lot of work to get it terraformed to this level of safety. All right, how's your playthrough going, man? If you missed the intro, I took the full dive. I'm enjoying the slower pace of taking things really seriously and carefully, and so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on turning off the map and portals. So we're as hardcore as we can get without turning on, without doing permadeath. If I die, I'm not starting the series or anything like that. This is it. This spot is. I'm planning to spend the rest of my playthrough probably here and continue to upgrade the base and stuff like that, upgrade the dock, make it really nice, because this should be enough room to fit everything that I want to, unless I'm planning like big builds or something. And then from here I'm going to sail off to different islands and things that I need to, and then bring back the resources and continue working on this base. Going well, about to take down the first boss. Nice. Nice. Alright. I don't know if I'm going to do all this organization on stream. Might go do something more exciting. But I do want to get some of this ready, so let's go ahead, and I've been putting my wood over here. Stone is cool because you can actually stack it indefinitely like this. Wood you have to spread out a little bit, but stone you can just keep plopping it in the same spot, which is pretty sweet. Does the hoe functionality to raise land unlock from the start or only after the first boss? It's from the start. To level ground, it doesn't require anything, and I'm actually going to be using that a lot more now that I've turned off the map. I'm going to be using that to make paths with signs to different areas of interest so I don't get lost on my island. And then the raise ground functionality just needs a workbench. And then the reason that you might want to wait until after the first boss is because it uses 2 stone every single time you click. And that's a lot of stone, and you don't really have a way to reliably gather stone until you get the pickaxe from after the first boss, because killing the first boss gives you antlers, which lets you make your first pickaxe. And then from that point on, you can get a ton of stone just by chopping down any rocks you see, especially those big flat ones. The Black Forest is full of rocks that you can mine and stuff. So yes, you can raise the ground, but it's just very expensive until you have a more reliable way to get stone. And then the third option is Pathin, which works similar to level ground. It's just skinnier, and it's more focused on transforming the look of the land than it is the height of the land. Okay, and let's just... keep it doing the stone here. Oh, that's why it's my second pickaxe. I was like, what on earth is going on? Alright, let's sleep real quick. It's starting to get hard to see. But yeah, this house, I will link the build video in the description. It's by, let me see here. I don't want to get his name wrong. I think it's Klaus, or Klauproof. Whatever. He also has a permadeath series that he's playing through, and I have really enjoyed watching that. Klauproof. I'll go ahead and link it in the chat now, in case anybody is interested in looking at that. There. It's linked in the YouTube chat. Okay. Yeah, this is the style of building that I really like. Just the efficiency, you know. It looks nice, but the big focus is on the functionality of it, which I really like. nothing extraneous about it. It's kind of like tiny homes, I guess. Guess I'm a tiny home enjoyer. Alright, let's start putting things in chests here. Tools and stuff, we'll go ahead and put that right here for now. Black for actually food and stuff we'll put over here. And then we'll do black forest on this one. Over here we'll do raw resources, we'll do like wood. I know we've got the wood and stuff outside, so we'll just keep that there. But we'll have all of the extra tools and stuff in this chest. We'll have completed foods in these chests. Farming we'll put right here for now. This is kind of a useless one, so we'll put that there. Stuff to sell we'll put in this last chest. Okay, let's see here. Sell. Resin is kind of a mass quantity item that I can't stack, so I'm going to put it in here. Foodstuffs. Am I dumb? Why is that not showing anything? Okay. Farming. Forest. Bees, I need to go ahead and make those beehives. Let's go ahead and make those now. Where do I want them? For now, we'll just put them right here, I guess, until I have a cuter area to put them in. There we go. Are they happy? Happy, 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 happy. Cool. Making sure they're spread out enough. We'll call Skeleton Trophies Black Forest, I think. Dandelions, we'll need to go with the farming stuff. Torches can go with the gear. We want one of those to keep. Yeah, dandelions are technically for fermenters and stuff. Farming. There we go, now they're working. That was weird. They weren't working during the raid. Let's go ahead and knock out the rest of the stone. Yeah, that didn't take too long to organize. Almost done. That was not opening again. Use that one. Weird. Wow, already full on resin. Things that we don't have enough stacks, so we can just toss in the dump pile there. Okay, now we gotta move over this stone, and then that's about it, I think. Oh, let's get this metal. This works a lot better if you have much more stamina food, but hopefully I can make it in one waddle. This is so nice to just be able to ignore these raids. Oh, I forgot to bring my hammer. Right. What are they hitting? Oh gosh. That's the problem with having this bridge, though. It gives them something to just beat on. Which means that I'm having to go and repair it every now and then. It's not the end of the world, but if I ignore it for long enough, they're gonna break down enough supports to where it's just gonna fall down. Which is less than ideal. Go over here and see if they can be aggro. I don't hear them beating on it anymore. I saved these raspberry bushes successfully, so now we can have these inside of our base, which is really cool. So maybe I'll have my farm on this side just because of that reason. Alright, they're leaving. Okay, let's finish getting our gear set up. Really gonna need my hoe with me at all times, because now we have to really start making paths and stuff as we go. Is this how my bar is set up? I think so. Okay. I need to get my forge up and running again. So let's do that. We shall put this on this side of the house, because this side doesn't have doors. So let's plop it right Here and here. And I have enough to smelt 2 stacks. So we'll go ahead and preload that up. I am running lower on coal, so I need to turn these into kilns at some point. I could just run one of each, but I don't want to do that right now. Alright, nice. Once we get our forge set up again, and we get our stuff prepared, then we'll probably go ahead and go do some more burial chambers. When do you unlock farming? So after you kill Eikthyr, you'll get your pickaxe, and you use the pickaxe to go to copper and tin nodes in the Black Forest. And then they look like this, copper and tin. And then you smelt that into ingots, copper and iron ingots. And then once you make your forge, right here, you can combine copper and tin, just like RuneScape, into bronze, and use that to make the cultivator, which I don't have one right now, but it's like a pitchfork. And then that pitchfork allows you to have a menu kind of like the hoe. And instead of having, you know, raised ground and level ground, it'll have like carrots. And that's when you can start farming. So you'll need to get all that, make your cultivator, and then somewhere in the Black Forest, find carrot seeds. And you'll find them that it's a little like white flower somewhere in the Black Forest. And once you get the seeds, then you can plant those. And each biome from here on has a different thing that you can plant and harvest, which corresponds with better recipes to make better food. So right now I need to get enough bronze to make my cultivator so I can start farming and start making some deer stew. But I enjoy farming in this game. It's fun. Okay, got the copper. Now we need stone, coal, and wood. Let's go get a stack of wood. Let's put it... yeah, right here. Okay, so that's everything repaired. What else was I wanting to do? Oh, I was gonna make my upgrade benches again. Or upgrade stations for the crafting table. Workbench. Wrong again. Okay. He recommended to put the tanning hide station right there, so let's scoot this over just a little bit. Let's see, can we fit it? Oh, it's because we don't have a workbench. That's why. That. And squeeze that just like so. Cool. And then everything else we're going to make down below. Forge upgrades. We can make the anvils pretty easily. Let's do that. Oh, we need to make, yeah, we need to make the adsy too. Let's go get the fine wood. A little bit more. Black Forest always on the starter island? No, not always. Usually, but not always. So if you run around and you start looking for these two types of trees, these are firs, and then the really, really tall ones are pines. And the music will change to cello, kind of ominous music, then that's your Black Forest. But sometimes you do need to, rarely, it might not be on your island if it's really small or something, so you might need to go ahead and make a raft and sail to a different island. If you're really unlucky and you have 0 Black Forest, then you can make a crappy little raft and sail off to a different island. But I recommend avoiding the raft otherwise. It's pretty pathetic. Has very little health, sails very, very slow, has no storage, can break pretty easily, so I would just wait until you can make the carve if you can avoid it. Let's see. Ads. I don't know the correct way to pronounce that. And over here, we got our anvils. Nice. And you know what? We can actually go ahead and make the forge cooler now. Should have enough copper already made to do that. Yo. Yo. Come on. Actually, you know what? Working harder when we should just work smarter. There. And that's not going to matter because then we can just cover it up. Alright. Copper. And then how much fine wood does it take? 25. So need to build near water, Black Forest, and near ore. Build what, your house? Not necessarily. You can always, you know, after you get your initial copper and tin back to the by the way, copper is found, it looks kind of like these kind of rocks. They're big flat rocks, but when you mouse over it, it'll say copper and you'll see little shiny bits in it. And then tin is found along the shoreline only in the Black Forest, so that's where you'll find both of those. After you get your initial you know, metal back home and you start smelting it, you can go ahead and make a boat, make a carve, and then from there on out you can just load it up in the boat and sail it back home. So no, you don't need to build the base near Black Forest or anything like that. If you want, you could build like a second little outpost to just smelt all the stuff there, but don't feel like you have to. The only big recommendation that I would have is try to find somewhere that's flat, and it is helpful to build your base near water so that you can really use boats to your advantage. But other than that, you don't have to. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would just either bring the ore back home or just make like a little, I don't know, smelting outpost to work from in the Black Forest. But you can just sail back with everything otherwise. Let's see, a few more. 3. Oh, I'm 2 copper short. Shoot! Maybe I have some in here still. I do. Hey, hot dog. These forge upgrades are so picky. You can't build them too close to each other. Okay, and then rather than having this full-blown stair, I'm actually going to do this. There. Alright, forge level 3. Sweet. Let's see. Okay, we need to start getting some more metal stuff. I've got a good amount of tin, so let's go ahead and do another round of copper. Fishing worthwhile? You know what? I'll be honest, I have never fished in this game. But yes, it is. You get some good food and stuff from it. And it can be a nice passive thing to do while you're, you know, like waiting for smelting to finish and stuff. But in order to do it, you have to find the trader, Haldor, which is in some black forest randomly, and it might take you a long time to find him. But that's the only way to get a fishing pole, is by buying it with gold from Haldor. So for me, the odds of finding Haldor without a map are pretty low anyways, so I don't see fishing in my future anytime soon. Fortunately. But yeah, it can be good. You can cut the fish up into different meat fillets and make some fish tacos and stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and break this second one down into a kiln. Right, and we'll start making some charcoal. Bring like 4 stacks over. Let's keep this over here so we can quickly break it and throw it in. Alright. Okay, got everything we need. Let's go ahead and start gathering some more. Let's see, what do we need more? Do we need circling cores? Technically we're good on circling cores and stuff. We really just need, I mean, we could go gather some more, but it's dangerous and we might die, and we already have what we need, so let's focus on getting some more metal stuff. So let's do this. Let's make some nails. I used up all my nails on the boat carve. So let's go ahead and make enough for a little hand cart. Oh, I'm going down. I'm not done. That's another thing about turning off portals is the handcart is now going to be so much more practical and necessary, because I'm going to need it for all kinds of basic stuff. Sweet. All right. Let's load up one more quick little round of smelting. We'll sleep because it's starting to get dark. And then we're off to go gather some more copper. Alright. Buenas noches. Let's go get some more metal. We haven't been raided in a bit, so it might be worth waiting until a raid happens. But I'm impatient. I'm not going to do that, so let's just go. And we're off. Alright, moment of truth. I'm curious if I can make it over my little gap that I left here for safety. Run! Oh my gosh, I can. That's awesome. Okay, I remember I have a copper vein right here, so we'll just start working our way inwards. Okay. So let's talk through how I like to do copper. When mining, first step is I'm going to go around, because there's a lot more than you can see. Like you can see maybe like a little pancake worth amount. The actual ore node is like this. It goes down beneath the surface. So yeah, if you can just mine the top and stuff, and it'll definitely keep the ground looking a lot more pretty. But you'll miss out on a bunch of ore per node. And since life is inconvenient for me with hardcore mode, I'm going to go ahead and take as much advantage of each node as I can, especially these ones that are really close to my base. Okay, that's good enough. And then what I would do now is I would chop down trees and stuff and make like one of these little outpost things that I've been using. That way I can repair my pickaxe and I can get my rested buff and stuff. But since I've got one so close, I'm just going to use this one. I do need to fuel the fire. So let's go ahead and do that. And then it can be worthwhile to go ahead and make some campfires around the... actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because that'll actually scare off the predators. That's actually a really good question. How long for ores and trees to respawn? Animals too, always concerned about farming close to home. So that is actually the bad thing about the game currently. They don't. Little rocks that you find on the ground respawn, flint respawns, animals respawn, but ores and like full-blown trees do not respawn. Now you can replant trees, so similar to like Minecraft or something like that. You just keep gathering the seeds, and then you can actually replant them with the cultivator. And I believe you get more seeds than you do chop down trees. So you should be able to replant. So don't worry about trees. Trees are fine. Just save your seeds. Ores do not respawn, and so animals do respawn. So don't worry about animals. They're fine. But ores and dungeons, like the burial chambers and stuff, do not respawn, which is a pain point that we had on my multiplayer server that I host, because so many of us playing on one world, we exhausted the resources nearby pretty quickly. Now, there are mods that you can install that actually make it really easy to respawn dungeons and even ores and stuff. There's commands that you can type in, and it'll just respawn everything of that type, and it'll check if there's a player structure within range of it. So like things like workbenches and campfires and stuff will prevent that from respawning. So if you're planning on doing that, then you want to make sure that you don't have campfires and workbenches and stuff near dungeons or whatnot. It does that so that, let's say that I broke down this ore and then I decided to build a base right here. If I use that mod, what could happen if it didn't have that functionality is it would just delete my base. But fortunately, it scans for that. So, long story short, you need mods, which stinks. And I really hope they add default. I'm sure that by the time the game fully launches, they'll add some kind of option for, respawning dungeons and stuff at the very least. But yeah, that is definitely something that's annoying. Love the music. Reminds you of the score used for Landell and Elden Ring. Yeah, the music in this game is great. Especially the meadows and the Black Forest are really good. The plains are exceptional. I love the plains music. The mountains music is also pretty epic. The swamp music and the Ashlands music is kind of difficult to tell what's going on. It's more like atmospheric. It's not like something that you could sing the melody per se. Mistlands music is also really good. Yes, this is, believe it or not, this is still early access. 1.0 will come out when they're done with the last biome. I'd open the map and show you, but I can't show you. It's the deep north, so up at the very, very top sliver of the map is the deep north, and they are working on it right now, and that'll be the next. They have said that when that comes out, that's when 1.0 will come out. So I don't know, and they're making it sound like they're making some pretty good progress on it. So I would say like maybe within a year is a pretty optimistic guess. But yeah, this is still early access, believe it or not. It's going to be very, very well polished by the time it comes out. Similar to 7 Days to Die. Hopefully it doesn't take 12 years of early access like 7 Days to Die did. But yeah, they're I really love Iron Gate, and as a company they're just doing some really great stuff with this game. And you can tell they play it and they're passionate about it. Unlike other games, sometimes you can tell they actually play it, and it's definitely a labor of love. And I want to stay well fed during this, because the last thing I want is a tree to fall on me and kill me. So right now I'm digging down around the ore node, but there's only so deep that you can dig down. The game uses voxels, I think is the term. And so when it generates the map, it picks a landscape or whatever, and then you can only build, I think it's 10 blocks above. You can only build the ground up 10 blocks or dig down 10 blocks. So you have like a 20 block range. So like, see right here, I'm digging, nothing's happening. This is as far down as we can go here. So that element is kind of limited, so you have to take that into account when you're terraforming and deciding on like a base location and stuff. If you're planning to flatten things out and you pick a really, really rocky terrain, you might not be able to flatten it out as much as you're wanting to. Especially if later you're planning on building like a basement or something and digging down more. I forget why I was saying all that. Oh, you're breaking my cart, jerk. I forget what I was going with that, but long early access reminds you of the forest. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's something that I need to go back and replay. I played Sons of the Forest. I didn't ever play The Forest. And then Sons of the Forest, I did play right when it came out. And it just released, and apparently it's a lot more polished and stuff. Because when I played it, it was actually missing a lot of voice acting, and the story was cool. I was just confused, because you could tell there was some pieces missing and stuff. But yeah, I need to give that a replay. That is an immersive game. That one had me scared at some moments. Like, it's, I don't know. It's psychological horror. Like, it's just, I don't know. You never feel safe in that game, and it just builds and builds, and there kept being moments where I was, I don't know, with all the, you know, mutated creatures and stuff, there's just moments that really caught me off guard. So that was a fun playthrough, though. Actually, I streamed that playthrough, so it's somewhere on Twitch. I don't know if the VODs got deleted or if I saved them, but I did stream that playthrough at one point. Might give it another playthrough at some time. I enjoy streaming those kind of games, because playing it by myself just feels, I don't know, masochistic, but when I'm streaming it, it feels like I'm sharing the experience with somebody. Not so scary and lonely. I'm not going to get my rested buff while they're still there, so let's kill them and then we'll sleep for the night. It should be getting pretty close to dark. And I smell a raid. So the last thing I want is a raid where I'm not rested. That is a good way to die. Come on now. In general, long early access is admirable from small studios. So many AAA games now release broken, whereas small studios care deeply about the games. Yeah, I agree. People poo-poo on the early access kind of concept where, you know, they're just releasing an incomplete product or something, but smaller studios like this, where the game is still in its early access, it's fun, and it's obviously not like a cash grab. There's not like some kind of, you know, like there's nothing I could spend more money on Valheim, for example, or 7 Days to Die or something like that. There's not some kind of microtransaction store scheme going on. So yeah, I definitely respect it for that. Yeah, and you can really tell when a company cares about their games. Like the ones that have stuck out to me the most for that would be Valheim, 7 Days to Die. No Man's Sky is a recent discovery of mine. I missed the first launch of it, but man, they have done some great stuff with that game. I didn't play it on launch, but based on what I have read and seen in videos and stuff, it is a completely different game, and they have just poured their soul out into that game. Let's see, what are some others? Not World of Warcraft. There's a lot of stuff that Blizzard does that's like, I'm pretty sure that you have not played this game ever. And it takes a lot of iteration and coin flips whether it's going to become something good or not, and then they make some kind of decision where it just ruins it or something. They've gotten better about listening to the community and stuff, the feedback, but there's a lot of frustrations that I have had over the years with World of Warcraft. EVE Online's pretty good. And the devs even like stream events where they're playing and stuff, and interacting with the community, so that's another good one as far as MMOs go. You feel so disillusioned by WoW? Yeah. My big reason that I played it for so long is I really like mythic raiding and playing with you know, a set team of 20 to 30 people to accomplish that goal. And I treated it kind of like a, I don't know, like a softball league or something like that. So team sport hobby. And also the healing in that game is better than any other game that I've healed in, which is a role that I really enjoy. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I have not liked as far as decisions by Blizzard and stuff, and it's just a toss-up. Like, you never know if you're just playing the game just to keep up with it so that you don't lose your spot on the raid team, or if you're playing it because you're really enjoying it. And I've definitely had seasons of both. And I recently stepped away because I made an announcement recently on my YouTube and stuff like that, but we're expecting our fifth kid, which ended up being girl number 5, so no boy. And then we're also moving states and getting new jobs and stuff like that, and there's a lot of life transition that's going to be happening over the beginning of this next year. So trying to maintain a raid schedule and stuff like that's not going to be healthy for me right now. So I stepped away from raiding so that my raid team could, you know, replace me early on in the season. And I've actually really been enjoying it, because doing stuff like this, like I can stream when I want to and I have time, and then I've been going to bed a lot earlier, which I have sleep apnea and stuff, and I've had a lot of health problems with maintaining a raid schedule for so many years. And so just being able to take better care of myself and stuff has been a real big breath of fresh air. A little tired of hoping, starting decent and then more of the same patterns. Yeah, for sure. I've been pretty happy so far with what they did with The War Within. It was a really good launch. And overall, it was a good raid. So I was pretty happy overall with the season, but definitely less enthused with the game and less engaged than I was. I think the height of my raiding career and everything was definitely Season 3 of Dragonflight. Dragonflight overall was really good for me. Yeah, Season 3 was definitely where I really dove in the hardest with creating content and really trying to like parse and study with my raid cooldowns and stuff, and then it just kind of tapered off after that, especially with jumping around with different roles and stuff. Congrats. Thanks, man. How's the acquisition on jobs going? Still planning to teach music and do music pastorship? Yeah, that's currently the plan. Fortunately, where we're moving to, I have a lot of connections and stuff back from college, where I was playing in a lot of orchestras and stuff. and church contacts and stuff. So I have a few people that are keeping their eyes open, looking for positions and stuff. And honestly, I'm really open to, you know, potential change and stuff. Like I teach because I know that I know that God has called me to music in some capacity. So whatever that looks like, it's kind of changed over the years, whether that be just teaching or actual like pastorship or a combination of both. Because that's kind of how life goes as a musician. You wear lots of different hats. But so I still really strongly feel that call, but what shape or whatever that's going to take, whether that's how I make my money or not, I don't know. I'm also potentially open to trying something new. I've done elementary music now for 10 years, and so honestly trying something like middle school or high school choir or something like that or orchestra would be wonderful. Would be a pretty big breath of fresh air to work with older students. Elementary land is fine. I've enjoyed it, but it would definitely be nice to do some higher caliber music and work with students that I can speak with logically, you know, instead of doing kindergarten stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. When we first move, it might be, you know, teaching lessons and working at Amazon or something like that. Who knows? But I'm honestly, I've done lots of different jobs and stuff over the years, even stuff like roofing and whatnot, and I know that I could be happy doing a lot of different things. I don't want them to beat down my bridge, so I'm just going to outrun them over here. The problem about not having a map is I need to stay in the area that the raid started, otherwise it's not going to ever despawn. And so I got to remember where it triggered and kind of stay in that area. So I think I'm still in range right here, because I can't see that red circle on the map. Yeah, we moved to Colorado about 7 years ago, and it's been a good move overall, but it has definitely been very, very difficult here financially and stuff. I don't know if it still is, but it was dead 50th for teacher pay. And the area that I teach is an affluent city, but they don't vote for anything. It's like older folks that don't actually, a lot of them have kids in the district, and so they don't vote for any kind of you know, building projects or teacher pay increase or anything like that. So it's a good district to teach in, but financially it's been very difficult, where I've had to juggle a lot to just make things work. And I didn't get into teaching for the money, obviously. What I told myself when I chose the profession is you know, as long as there's enough, you know, I don't need to be wealthy or whatever. If there's enough to cover the basics and take care of my family and have a, you know, decent quality of living, then that's fine. We don't need boats and, and campers and all that stuff. So, but that philosophy has definitely been stretched over these years. There's been some seasons where I was teaching, I was doing worship pastor stuff, and then I had about 25 piano and guitar lessons that I teach over the course of the week, and I travel to their homes, so there's about 15 to 30 minutes in between each lesson of travel time. Some of them were like families where it'd be a bigger chunk. Like I have one family, for example, that I teach all 5 kids lessons, so I'm there. That's like one full evening. But it was just a lot at certain points, and we've tried different combinations of, you know, my wife working, her staying home so we could cut childcare, some kind of combination of that. She's been in school for the past several years to finish her master's and do a career switch, which she's finally done, but we were holding out for that, and even with that, it's not been easy. So I'm really excited about moving, because the cost of living and everything in Missouri is going to be just much better. Lots of things to be excited about. So it's just about surviving this this year now. Never realized I played with local orchestras, classical guitar. No, actually, I went to college for classical voice and cello. And all my guitar experience and stuff was really just from being self-taught or doing worship team stuff and whatnot, and then eventually branching out into like doing lessons and trying to learn faster than I can teach. But yeah, actually my studies were in cello and classical voice. You right in your backyard. Yeah, I drive through Kansas all the time, man. Or I used to in college. This is Boomer, by the way. Oh, right on. Yeah, man, I'd drive through Kansas at least twice a year, you know, coming home for Christmas and summer and stuff like that. Actually, 4 times, I guess, if you count both directions. Alright, let's drop some of this off. Well, yeah, before we moved away, I was playing in a few different orchestras, and I had some good connections for string quartets and stuff for playing for weddings. And really enjoyed that. And then when I finished my master's, we were kind of deciding what we were going to do, and then unfortunately my wife's mom was going... I don't have my rest buff, that's why this is sort of awkward. My wife's mom had a relapse of cancer, and so that definitely influenced our decision. We decided to move to where she was from, in Kentucky, and we lived there for about 3 years, and then after her mom passed away, we kind of reevaluated, and we still wanted to be around family, and she had always loved Colorado. She had visited a couple times, and so we decided to move here. And then now this year's been weird for sure. My dad passed away this summer in a work accident, and then I don't know, just family drama stuff with the fallout from that, and then just kind of looking at the budget and stuff. We that's prompting the move. And also it's really nice because we're halfway. We can travel for different holidays. Right now going to Kentucky's almost impossible. Just it's so long of a drive, and that many plane tickets with our family size is not feasible. So we'll actually be able to travel like we did in college. We would go one direction for Thanksgiving and the other direction for Christmas, and then swap the next year or something. So, but you trained voice in undergrad, bass for musicals, large and small group ensembles. Nice, man. Yeah, I loved. I haven't done much with voice outside of, you know, like teaching and stuff, but like me in my own personal choir experience or something like that, I haven't really done much since moving away. Oh yeah, it's all good, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's definitely been a weird year. My dad did his own business for like excavation with difficult like environments or something. He had excavators with hydraulic legs, and he could like work in swamps or on steep like hillsides and stuff. And it should not have been a very dangerous job, but it was just a bunch of freak accident stuff that all happened at the same time, and his machine ended up rolling off a cliff and crushed him. So it was unexpected, but the scenario is not necessarily unexpected. Like, with that line of work, he'd be off, you know, for a week or two at a time, out of cell service, working with like preparations for wildfires and stuff, and he you know, he very well could have you know, gotten killed or something like that in any of those jobs, and it would take a while for us to know about it and stuff. But this was definitely not one that was expected to be that dangerous. But there's a lot to honestly be thankful for, though. Like, he passed doing what he loved, and he was surrounded with friends, and he was having a great time, and I mean, I could go into more detail, but there's just a lot to honestly be thankful for, and I can't really think of a more fitting way to go. So definitely unexpected in general, and it's been a bit hard, but I feel like I've processed it a bit better than a lot of the rest of my family. But switching back to more lighter-hearted things. With mining this copper, I have to be careful to not get trapped, because if my pickaxe breaks and I'm like down in a crater, I have no way to get out. I'm gonna have to enable cheats to like fly out or something. So I'm just progressively whittling it down so that I can still jump on the top and not trap myself. Something I mentioned that I forgot to do is setting up campfires around the edge of it. That can be a pretty nice thing to do so that you don't have to worry about gray dwarfs or anything at all. But I forgot to do that. So, but the fact that we have this outpost little thing right here, I'm not too worried about it. Ah, crap. It's raining. So the wet and the cold debuffs are actually a lot more inhibiting than you might think. Because, first of all, the rested buff makes it so that your health regenerates 50% faster, your stamina regenerates 100% faster and stuff. But wet reduces that by 15%. Cold reduces that by another, I think it's like 25%. So if it's raining and it's night, you're really struggling. I guess we could take the time to build like a huge roof over this whole thing, but that's a waste of time. Something that some people do with these copper deposits is you can actually pop it. If you start digging from the bottom and then you dig out underneath, so that it's not touching in any location. If it's far enough away and it's just this like floating boulder, then you can actually mine it and it'll all explode, and you can break it all at once. The reason I'm not doing that is because I've had too many times where I can't figure out, like it should be far enough away, but for some reason it's not working. and then I'm having to like jump and try to hit it and just awkward stuff like that, or trying to build a ladder on top of it. And I don't know, I'd rather just do it reliably this way and just dig down. Once I get enough tin, I need to make another cauldron, but I did actually get to make some better food. So Queen's Jam is really good, and it gives 40 stamina, and you make that with raspberries and blueberries. And then boar jerky is not super good. It's balanced, has equal amounts of health and stamina, but you can make a ton of it. You make it in stacks of 4 at a time, so it's a pretty cheap, easy food to make. So that's how I'm kind of balancing things out. It's better than the Meadows quality food, but I'll definitely start using something else eventually. But it is better than the boar I was eating earlier. I was curious if that mechanic worked like that, removing the support. Yeah, since this game has structural integrity, that is how that works, and that works for anything. That works for like rocks you can dig out underneath, like those tower structures in the Black Forest. You can dig out underneath those and have those collapse that way. And no, it cannot crash down on you, so it won't hurt you. It'll just immediately explode into the items. And, but yeah, you don't ever have to worry about something falling on you and killing you other than trees. And that happens a lot. So I guess it balances out. But no, rocks and stuff you won't get crushed by. We'll see how much copper we get from this. I found that usually doing it this way and getting the entire node nets you about, I don't know, 90-ish plus copper. But that's before the double resources, so if I can get at least 180 from this, then I will be very, very happy. But yeah, with standard resources turned on, like 90 plus is pretty good in my experience. Just the wrong side. Copper's one of those things where, you know, right now while I'm in the Black Forest and stuff, it's pretty easy to get. I'll have a lot of it. But later on in the game, like on my multiplayer server and stuff, I'm always out of copper. Because I just don't ever take the time to go back into the Black Forest and mine it and stuff. I'm always running out of it. So what I might do is I might just like get as much copper as possible from this island. I say that, but I don't think I want to take the time to do that. Especially now without a map, it's hard to keep track of. So, yeah, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I had a passing thought the other day of doing that and just taking the time to go ahead and exhaust every single copper deposit on the starter island. But that would take way too much work. So I'm just going to get as much as I need. And then bank up a little bit extra. And that should be good. Double resources? Yeah, I changed the settings. On the world modifiers, where I enabled hardcore and everything, I went ahead and turned on 2 times the resource collection rate. And the reason I'm justifying it is I've already progressed through the whole game, on my other world and stuff, and so I've already seen all the biomes and stuff, and so I'm okay with the grind part taking less time. Also, with this being you know, a streaming series and stuff like that, cutting down the amount of time where I'm just gathering resources and stuff allows me to focus more on the stuff that's more exciting to stream. Because watching somebody just chop down trees for 3 hours is not super exciting. So being able to limit that down a little bit and focus more on the more engaging parts to stream is helpful. Also, I'm having to spend a lot more time being careful and stuff with hardcore mode, so cutting down on some of that brainless grind stuff I think balances it out, because everything that I'm doing is going to be taking more time with having to like actually hand draw out maps as I explore different islands. You know, not being able to use portals, so there's a lot more time spent sailing back and forth or bringing back resources with the hand cart. So that's, for those reasons, I'm fine with the double resources. Ore is more important than wood, and unless we'll go further than wood, which seems more abundant. You'd think that. You need a lot of ore. Like you'll come back with like all this copper, and then you know be really excited. Oh, I got 200 copper. It's great. And then you realize that each upgrade of a weapon costs like 20 to 30 copper or something like that. It goes very, very quickly. Especially iron. Like in this game, once you start doing the swamp and stuff, you need tons and tons and tons of iron. And then when you think you're done with iron, you get to the plains, and suddenly you need tons and tons of iron again. So I have always felt like I am too low on metal. I never feel like I have enough. So, whereas wood is kind of the same way, especially if you do a lot of building, but there's ways to work around that. Like you can replant the wood close to your base so you're not having to travel very far. Also, I think I showed you yesterday my Greydorf farm. You can make a Greydorf farm with those Greydorf spawners, and then just like AFK overnight and stuff like that, and just get infinite amounts of stone and wood. So there's definitely ways to work around that. But ore, it just feels like you always need more. In my experience, at least. That's the bottom of that voxel right there. Yeah, so for example, popping this ore node probably wouldn't have worked, because you can see right here, it's built into the ground. So it's like a weird snake shape. So I don't think I would have been able to pop it this way. So that's another reason why I choose to do it this way. Sometimes they're in weird shapes like this. Yeah, that's the end of that. That's as far as down as it can go. Mining copper like this is also a good way to get stone, because you passively get a lot of stone also while you're doing this. Rested buff again. Can I sleep? Hooray! Oh, I shouldn't finish this coffee. It's already 12:30. Maybe I can pop like this little piece, kind of show you. Also, when you're digging like this, you see when I'm low like this, this is the most efficient way to dig like moats and stuff, for example, because when I hit, you'll see it carves out everything above it. So that's a fast way to dig, rather than digging something like this where you just dig across one layer and then you dig across another layer and stuff like that. It's much more efficient to dig down as deep as you can and then dig across, because that breaks everything above it. And it also works kind of the same with your hoe for raising ground. I can't do it right now because I don't have a workbench, but like, for example, if I raised ground right here, it would build it up to that location across. Not perfectly, but it saves a lot more resources than building one layer and then building another layer. If you aim at the top, it'll build it at the level that you aim. So like right there, it'll build it up to the top, or if you aim right here, it'll just build it up halfway. So that can be a good way to save resources as you make your earth walls and stuff, or as you're digging moats. It's a good way to save time to do it this way. So that kind of popped it. I wasn't really paying attention, but you could see that whole thing got broken in one swing or whatever. I'm worried about getting stuck here, though, so... Alright, that's as low as it can be. As low as it can go. This one's weird. Really having a problem with this dig restriction. NB, are you familiar with parrying and stuff in Valheim yet? If not, I will take a little intermission to show you, because that, if you're doing any kind of a melee build, it is pretty vital to learn how to parry. It's worth taking the time to showcase that. Yes, love that mechanic. Okay, good. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I definitely have a lot of room to improve on that. I'm always kind of, until I'm pretty over geared, I'm kind of scared to rely on that mechanic because, for example, messing that up with the troll is it's fairly fatal. But it's really good. It's especially good if you're like a Dark Souls kind of a player where that's how you function and you understand like attack patterns and stuff. I do a little bit, but I definitely have room to improve. I need to make a better shield. So when you're making shields, by the way, something to keep in mind is what type of shield that you're making. For example, this round shield counts as a... It's a round shield, I think is the classification of it. It's kind of the warm cup of porridge as far as shields go, where it can parry still, but it has a decent amount of block. The tower shields, the tall ones, those cannot parry at all, but they also have a much higher block armor rating and block force rating, meaning that you can withstand bigger hits. So if you're scared of parrying and you just prefer to block instead, those tower shields can be really good. I've actually used the tower shields a lot because the way that I have sometimes used shields is when I'm running low on stamina, I'll just block, especially when I'm getting overwhelmed, I'll just block and let my stamina recharge and then go back to attacking, and I don't actually use it for the parrying part. And then on the opposite end of that is the bucklers, which the first one that you can make is the bronze buckler, and that one does not have very much block force, but it's much stronger at parrying than the rounded shield. So if you like parrying a lot, the buckler is for you. If you kind of like a mix of both and you sometimes want to block, sometimes you want to parry, then the round shields are nice. And if you don't want to rely on parrying at all and instead you're just using the shield to withstand big attacks and regenerate your stamina and stuff, then the tower shield is really good. Do wish Val had skill trees for additional abilities? Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Prefer range and eventually magic anyhow? Yeah, that's kind of my playstyle too. Magic in this game is very fun. Takes a long time to get to, but and then ranged is just very, very reliable all the time. And spending time ranging and leveling up your bow skill pays off more than any other skill. Like, your bow skill affects shooting with bows more than any other skill affects attacking with that weapon, because it also affects your draw speed. Like, if you've seen any videos with a high bow skill, like that circle shrinks immediately. It's like shoo, shoo, shoo. So they need to allow loot to drop immediately. Yeah, just waiting for the poof after you kill something. That, yeah, I don't know why either. That's just thematically showing that you killed it or something. Yeah, it's interesting how some things drop it immediately, like skeletons, for example, and leeches in the swamp are another one. Some of them don't have a death animation at all. They just break and the loot immediately drops. And then some of them take forever. Like trolls, for example, I can reach over and take a drink and stuff before they actually drop the loot. So yeah, that's definitely something that's inconsistent and kind of funny. Maybe it's something like a developer spent a bunch of time on it, and so they're just leaving it in because they want to keep that developer happy or something. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that was his baby, and they can't bring themselves to cut it and make him mad. Who knows? What you're talking about with the ability trees and stuff, I haven't played Soul Mask, but 7 Days to Die, for example, has a system like that, and I really enjoy that. And that adds a ton of replayability, in my opinion, as well. Like, each playthrough you can choose a different style that you want to do, and it really affects, you know, how the game plays. Like playing an agility playstyle, for example, with bows and SMGs and stuff, and being able to jump 3 blocks tall, compared to like a strength playstyle or something like that with shotguns. It's a much different experience. So that would definitely be a fun addition. I like that a lot. But at the same time, it is kind of nice with the style of this game of being able to potentially take your character that you've worked on and you've leveled up your skills and stuff like that, and you've progressed your armor and weapons and stuff, and being able to jump around from server to server and take your character and go play on a different friend's world and stuff like that, and keep all of your character's progress. Like, that element of the game pairs nicely with the, you know, the lack of a skill tree, because you can just level up each thing and just eventually you can have, you know, theoretically you can just have everything at 100 and just be good at everything. That takes forever to get to, but I think that pairs well with the world traveling aspect of the game. I don't know, that's my devil's advocate argument. Whoa. Alright, this one right here, we can pop this easy. This'll... yeah, this right here, this'll be a good showcase. Little floating nugget up here. I'll clear around it. Kill this boar. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'll do this right here. So, once I break this, it should pop. Or not. That's too close. I think it's this thing that's too close. Nope. See, this is the problem I'm talking about. That should have popped. I guess it's too close to the ground here. So now the problem is trying to reach that. So my options are to like try to jump and swing and hit it, or like try to get over here and see if I can jump on top. Which fortunately I can, but this is why I don't find popping to be super reliable. Agreed, did not expect to keep all your individual progress with each new play on the same character. Yeah, that was something that I, honestly, when I first started, I did not like that. Because I like the starting over. And I came from 7 days and stuff, and I like that replayability of, trying to start a new world and then trying to do things a little different that time or something. But I've really grown to appreciate it and love it because it feels like your playtime is never wasted, because like I have the option, for example, if I wanted to, I can pop back onto my other world and grab all my best armor that I've spent hundreds of hours trying to get to and progress to and upgrade and stuff. And so that stuff is always potentially there. And so the progression of this game with getting different armors and stuff and taking the time to go to the different biomes and stuff, it takes a long time to do, and gear and food and stuff affects you more in this game than any other game that I've played. Like some games you can just kind of cheat your way around and you don't really, the gear kind of makes a difference and stuff, but it's not super important. This game, it's all about gear. 100% about gear and food. And so the fact that all of that stays, regardless of world, if you want to play that way, is pretty cool. And it also, in my opinion, it encourages you to really potentially take the time to build up a world and invest in this world. Like for example, our multiplayer world, we're not planning on resetting it, even when the Deep North comes out, because so many of us have spent so much time on big builds and stuff and big forts and stuff, and there's no real reason to restart. We can just keep building upon that and really flesh out the world, keep all of our progress. If we reset the world, I'm pretty sure that my cousin and definitely my brother, for example, he does not do replays well at all. So he played through the game normally, but when we did that server, he brought over resources from another server and used dev commands to create infinite amounts of iron and stuff, which I really didn't like, but he doesn't have very much time to play. And the idea of him starting over we did not like at all. So that like portal hub that I showed you, he made that with resources that he spawned in on a different server and brought over. So if we started over again and wiped the server and started completely fresh, I don't know, he probably just wouldn't play. He wouldn't even try. Wouldn't even do what he did. This last time. But that's not something that we can really prevent. There's no setting to prevent somebody from bringing stuff from a different world. So my cousin, on the other hand, for example, I'm pretty sure he gathered all the stuff on our world. But I think there was times where he could bring stuff that he gathered. For example, he like tore down one of his bases on one of his solo worlds and brought over the resources to build his bases over on our server. So I mean that's kind of similar. That's not creating the resources out of thin air. He still worked to make all that stuff. He's just choosing to allocate it on a different server for a different purpose. But it still ends up being the same kind of result where you're artificially bringing resources to a server. Which I had problems with at first and stuff, but after having problems with, for example, we're running out of iron on our world, having the option to be able to, log out, go make a new world, and sail around and collect all the iron on that other world and then bring it back, just like going and creating new maps to harvest resources, like that I think is pretty cool. So it's, I don't know, it's a lot of gray area, and honestly, it just comes down to how do you want to how do you want to play the game? What feels honorable to you? And it's different for other people. Like my daughters, it's funny. They're in 3rd grade and 1st grade, my oldest two. And my 3rd grader is kind of like me, where she sets a lot of like self-imposed restrictions and stuff, and she wants to do something a certain way just because she feels like that's the way it's supposed to be done. And I kind of function the same way. Like why I turned off the map and stuff is partially because I feel like if I'm claiming to play on hardcore, then that's a part of the experience, and someone tuning in, if they see hardcore in the description, they're expecting that. So I'm kind of the same way. Whereas my 1st grader, she just wants to turn on all the cheats, and she wants to fly around and have access to all the resources and all the recipes, and she just likes building stuff. She doesn't want to do all the bosses and the gathering and the fighting and stuff. She just wants to fly around and build cool looking castles. And the game accommodates both of those playstyles, you know? So it just really comes down to how do you want to play the game, which I've really come to appreciate. Kind of rambling. I'm not sure where I was going with that conversation, but in summary, Valheim's awesome, and you can play it lots of different ways, which is pretty cool. I'm curious to see how much copper I get from this when it's all said and done. I already almost have a full chest worth, which is sweet. Benchmark I'm aiming for is 180. Anything that or above, I'll be really happy with. And then we probably need to go and get a round of 10. And then we'll finish off the night with smelting and actually using it for stuff, I think. I don't have a whole lot of playtime left. It's already almost 1. And I actually have a fairly busy day tomorrow with Christmas Eve services and stuff. So, I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule too bad. I've already been whacked out. Some nights I've been going to bed really early, and then other nights I drank coffee and went to bed a bit later, and so, for example, Saturday night, I had gone to bed earlier in the week, and then Saturday night I drank some coffee late, which usually hasn't affected me, but I don't know, now I'm getting more sleep and I'm less permanently tired, I guess. And so Saturday night I couldn't sleep from 1 until I just gave up and got up at 5 before I had to leave for worship practice at 6. So I was like, alright, my alarm's gonna go off in an hour, I'm just gonna get up. I give up. So I'm kind of out of whack, so I'll probably go to bed within the next 30 minutes or so. Should be able to finish this, gather a little bit of tin, and then get it smelting. part of that is also just getting older too. Like I've always been able to sleep. If I don't have an alarm, I have always been able to sleep at least 12 hours. And then in college sometimes, I think it was because of my undiagnosed sleep apnea, sometimes I'd sleep 18. Like I'd go to sleep on a Friday night, wake up on Saturday for dinner, then go back to bed, and then wake up for church. Like, my sleep's always been wonky, and a lot of it's self-inflicted, and then other parts are, I think, because of my sleep apnea. But as I'm getting older, I'm finding that 12-hour mark harder and harder to reach, especially with, you know, having to get up for kids and stuff. Unnecessary things like feeding them, you know. Imagine. Oh, look at that. Popped it as my pickaxe broke. That was cool. I don't know why I'm... Oh, I guess I thought I had more than I actually do. I only have about half a chest. I guess I could be loading this already in my hand cart instead of loading it in the chests. It would make more sense. So let's do that. I'm curious how this cart is going to do with the stairs. I actually have not tested that. So I'm wondering if I'll actually even be able to drag that up. Because I've done plenty with dragging carts up, like, dirt hills that I've made and stuff. But I have not done stairs, so hopefully it works. Otherwise I'm going to have to do something weird. I'm going to have to, like, redesign the bridge and then build a dirt path leading up to the bridge here on this side, and maybe break that rock that it's resting on. I don't know. Hopefully it just works and we don't have to worry about that. Just enough. If it doesn't work, then I'll just do the wattle that I did to bring the stone and wood over. Because yesterday on the stream I had a bunch of stacks over here on the other side of this outpost. And then earlier today I just waddled and carried it over. Which works, but it'd be nicer if the cart worked. And this almost feels like I'm mining silver. There's a lot of problems with, you know, dig limits and stuff with silver, but I have not had this much problems with copper before. Definitely a weird one. Looking for the night. Looking for the homie, Night Rag. Thanks, Cuppy. Thanks for dropping in, bro. And lurking. Hope you're doing well. Have a good night. That's really as deep as it goes. It's crazy. Dig a bit more here. I wonder if the last hit of the pickaxe before it breaks does extra damage. What game is it that does that? There's a... forget which... there's one that I'm thinking of where when the weapon breaks, the last hit does extra damage. What is that? That's gonna drive me crazy. I can't remember what that is. Zelda! That's what it is. Breath of the Wild. Your last hit with a weapon before it breaks does, like, extra damage. I'll have to look at the numbers next time a pickaxe breaks, because now I'm curious. NB, gonna lurk for a bit and get some stuff done. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I'm not going to be on for much longer, so thanks for the good conversation tonight. Good luck on your world, man. Also, this is a side note. If you're still here, like, don't ever feel like I just thanked you for the conversation. But don't ever feel like you have to or whatever. Like, if you don't respond or something like that, like that's totally fine. I'm just talking to myself and stuff to help fill space. So I know that on a smaller stream or something like that, like, it can be easy to feel obligated to help carry things, but yeah, like, I don't think anything of it. So if you're busy or something like that, or like, I don't know, I'm not saying that correctly, but yeah, like, no pressure, essentially. Alright, that's the whole vein. Let's see how much we got. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. 32. Sorry, am I late night math? 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 220. That's way better than what I thought I was going to get. Very nice. My brain froze for a second there. It's, my brain must be stuck in this cup of coffee that I chose not to finish. Yeah, man, it'd be fun to link up. That would be sweet. Yeah, good fun conversation for sure, and I appreciate it. Alright, let's see if we can actually make it up these stairs. Ush! Oh, I gotta fix that. Dare I just try to pass across? And risk my cart getting stuck? We're gonna do it! Ah! Hey, we can do it! Cool. So far, so good. Nice. And what weight is this? This is about 2,000 pounds. So we know that about 2,000 pounds work, but if this was completely full, I don't think I'd be able to make it up that for sure. But 2,000 pounds we can do. Cool. And then a potentially bad habit that I've gotten into is I use these carts like chests. So there's been times where I just set up like 10 of these just all over the place, and I just use those and fill them up. I really like carts. Carts are great. Let's load this up and then we'll go to sleep in game. That way, when we wake up, it'll all be done. Watch this. This is the saddest dream. That one breaks my heart. You're working hard all day, hewing wood, hunting deer and stuff like that. You get home tired but happy, and then you wake up and realize it was just a dream and you have your entire day's work ahead of you. Oh, what a nightmare. So sad. And then the weirdest one is about the like sleeping naked child, and you wake him up and you find out it's you or something like that. I like the flavor that the dream text adds. Cool. Alright, let's load this puppy up. Load this one up. And then I'm not going to take the time to show it now, but I might set these up. I'll probably skip it this time around, but there is a very space efficient way to set these up that I kind of like. And what you do is you take the kiln and you put it on top of the smelter, and it looks like this weird mushroom thing, but it saves so much space. And so what it does is it frees up the sides so you can really easily load up the smelter, and then you just look up to load up the kiln. It looks dumb, but it saves so much space. So once I start getting more of these and I start having, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 different smelters and kilns going, I might do something like that. It just looks dumb. Definitely breaks the immersion. Okay, let's grab the copper that we have so far. We got 20. Eventually, I would like to make some sconces. These right here. Because those are really good for lighting up the house. And they last way longer. The torches last for... I think a fully loaded torch lasts for like 12 hours. And then the sconce is like 36 or something. So it's really efficient. A lot less time spent going around finding your torches, loading them up and stuff. And especially in a single player world like that, like this, where the world only progresses while you're actually logged in, those will last forever. Lighting is definitely a problem on our other server though, the multiplayer server, because anytime anybody is on, that means they're burning. So like my daughter will get on and play and then I'll log back on and all my torches and stuff are out. Okay, what was I doing? Let's see how much tin we've got. Got a good amount. I need to go ahead and make the cauldron. That's the big thing that we're missing. So let's get enough to make another fire. We'll have one fire be for the cauldron, and then the other fire will be for the cooking stations. So let's do the second one right here. And we'll load this puppy up with, let's see, which one should be for which? Let's put the cauldron here. And we'll do the cooking stations over here. And I think you can fit 6 cooking stations, but I'm just going to do 5. Let's see right there. All right. Nice. And then the other thing that we needed to make is our cultivator. That's the big next thing that we need. Let's see, butcher's knife is also pretty nice. At some point I might work on bringing my boar over here from that 2-star boar farm, but that's going to be tricky. I need to wait until I have the abyssal harpoon. Okay, cultivator's going to take 5 bronze. We can do that. And then we need core wood. Let's just drop this for now. Core wood. I think that was enough. You don't remember how much core wood it needed. Yep, there we go, we're good. Nice! We can even start our farm today. Let's do that later. Let's see what else we can make that we need. I might make a set of bronze armor at some point, because in the tight quarters of the burial chambers, I don't need a whole lot of mobility. I just need to be able to survive, you know, the odd shot from a 2-star skeleton. Because that one that we tried when we tried the first burial chamber, I got down to 1 health. I think that was from like 1 shot, or I think it was 2 shots. But yeah, troll armor at level 3 gives 10 armor, and then bronze armor at level 1 gives 8. So I'm pretty sure that by the time we upgrade it, it's not significantly higher than the troll armor, but it is a good bit. I'd like to make the sword. I do like my swords. I haven't really done much with spears. I see a lot of people that are doing hardcore and trophy runs and stuff using spears. So I think that's the pro play, is to get a spear. But personally, I feel like that's, I don't know. For me, that's weird because I've already got pierce damage from the bow. And so getting pierce damage again from the spear is redundant, in my opinion. And then I really like the Atgear as well, because that has the special attack as the spin thing, which is really nice when you start getting overwhelmed. But it's the same thing, it's pierce damage again. So do I really need 2 or 3 weapons that all do pierce damage? Probably not. So I'm probably better off. I think it makes most sense to run with a bow and a sword and then a mace. And then you have all of the physical damages covered. You got the mace is blunt, the sword is slash, the bow is pierce. And I guess technically you could even skip on the sword and run with the axe, but I believe the axe is inferior because it has a slower swing speed, so it's just less DPS than the sword is. But at this point we've got, I think, all of the super essential stuff, so I might be able to start making my sword and stuff. Because we just made the cultivator. We've made all of the upgrades that we currently have access to. Oh, I need to make the mead kettle and fermenters. Okay, those are next. That's what we're missing. Which I don't know how the mead kettle works. That's new for me. Let's make a fermenter. So we need 5 bronze. So we're going to need to smelt some tin here. Yep, we're out of tin. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that should cover the tin that we need for the fermenter. And then the mead kettle needs... Oh, that doesn't even use bronze, that just uses straight up tin and copper. But we should have enough for that as well. Anything else that we're missing? We've got the carve. I need to make sconce. I think we need to make an item stand at some point, because that increases comfort level. We can do that now. Let's go grab fine wood. Let's do it in the bedroom. Let's hang up. Oh, I forgot the nails. Yeah, I want to increase the comfort in the bedroom, because when I get my rested buff, I want to be able to come up here to this room and knock it out. So the bed is there because I'm too far away from the fire over here, so I need the comfort to be in range so that I can stand on my bed or sit on my bed and be done. So let's plan to put a banner right there, and we'll put an item stand here on this wall. And we could do, it would probably look nice to have some shields, like a shield, and then a banner right in the middle. That'd be a pretty easy decoration to do right now. Let's wait on that for right now, though, because there's other things that we can add that are more important. Like the table and the stool. think also put a table in the corner here. Put some stuff on that eventually. Let's put a stool here. That's comfort level 6. Does a chair increase it as well? 7. Okay. Well. So we'll put the chair in the corner there. Okay. Need a Christmas tree. Need to remember to do that before Christmas ends. Because I don't want to have to wait a whole nother year to be able to make a Christmas tree. And I don't remember when that ends. Surely not before Christmas. So we at least have a couple days. I think it's just 1. Right? Yep, 1. Oh, Christmas tree! Let's put it right here. Beautiful. We could put some presents underneath. Let's see, what do I need? Bone. What were the other options? Dandelion and raspberries. Dandelion, raspberry. I said that backwards. I'm grabbing the dandelion, saying raspberries, and vice versa. Okay. Put one right there. We're out of fine wood. I think we're actually out of fine wood, because I used up a bunch of it. So let's go get some. Come back to all this. Gather our honey here. Also come back to that. Sort it later. Let's go for a little swim. Go get some birch. Trigger a raid. I think before we craft a sword, we go ahead and upgrade the axe. That's going to become more important than ever, because I can't come home as often to repair, because I don't have a portal. So I can't just do like my normal adventure portal thing I do. So my option is to either bring forge stuff with me and create forges all over the map, which I'm probably going to have to do. Or just use my axe very sparingly. So that's actually my decision made right there. Now, it's not going to be feasible to use my axe for combat as well. I'm going to need to be very careful to only use the bronze axe for chopping wood. Because otherwise I'm going to be, you know, frantically trying to make a stone axe or something on a different island because my axe broke and I don't have a forge to repair. So for that reason, I might just need to carry my flint axe with me anyways, and just save the bronze axe for chopping down like birch trees and stuff like I'm doing now. I don't know. Those are all considerations that now I have to think of now that we're doing full-blown hardcore without portals. Now that we have the cultivator, I might just go ahead and randomly plant some birch trees around inside my fort up there. That way I can just chop them down up there. So earlier I mentioned, you know, seemingly constantly being out of ore. Fine wood is the other one that I'm almost constantly out of all the time. Just never have enough fine wood. I can't just leave this log floating in the water. It drives me crazy. I wouldn't live with myself. Wouldn't be able to live with myself if I knew I just left it. Alright, let's swim back, drop off the fine wood, and then we'll come back and pick up the rest of this. I don't want to say anything because I'll jinx it, but we have not gotten raided in a while. So that's been nice. This might be a little greedy, but I'm gonna go grab it now because I don't want that wood that's just sitting there to despawn. Because I didn't build a workbench or anything around it. Tell you what, I'm gonna definitely level my swimming skill more than I typically do living on this island. That's usually a skill that I hardly level at all. Oh, here it is. I got raided. And it triggered while I was standing here, so that means that the circle is positioned on me, so I can just chill. To go anywhere. And actually that probably means that I can carry on as normal because the circle is going to be big enough to where I can just, you know, move around inside the house. What was I getting the fine wood for? Presents. That's what it was. Okay, gotta drop some stuff. There. Yeah, that one's big. Let's do that one in the corner, and then I'll do the white one up front. Yeah, that looks pretty. I gotta make sure I like it because I'm not gonna be able to move it once those become out of season. Some garland. Oh, that looks so nice. I'll put that around the edges too. What are they breaking? A bridge. Alright, let's put... Oh, it's actually too wide. I guess I could hang it this. That looks kind of weird. You do it like that. It's kind of nice. Sure. Okay. That doesn't increase our comfort at all. That's just all for fun. Okay, banners. I like blue banners. So let's go ahead and do blue. So I need leather scraps and blueberries. Leather scraps and blueberries. Hang it right there. That torch is too far back. It is getting covered, so let's fix that real quick. Need resin. There we go. Probably move that back a little bit more. I'm being really picky because I gotta be as efficient with space as possible. I was going to say, I think that light is getting covered up a bit by the banner, but those just aren't that bright. Because that's about as bright as it is over here. So that's comfort level 9. That's good. That might be about as much as we can get right now. I think that's all we can get. I have enough coal now to start doing things. Oh, I need a rug. That's what we're missing. Need a rug. Let's see. Where can we put this rug? It'd probably look nice to do it like this. Let's do 2 rugs. Heck, we could do 3 rugs. Yeah, it almost looks like a bear pelt when it's like that. That's cool. I like that. That's comfort level 10. Okay. And then at some point what I want to do is I would like to decorate the house, because I pretty much just exactly copied it from his build guide, but there's a lot that we could do to personalize this and make it our own. Oh shoot, I forgot about this door. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's put this table right below the window instead, like this, and then we can eat dinner and look out the window at our base. And then we'll put the stool. Wait. There. Or we'll put it underneath like this. And then the logic is we would pull it out to sit on it. And then we're not actually gonna sit on it ever. This and put like that, and then if we want to sit at the table, we can actually sit over here. Cool, that looks nice, and it saves space. Or we could just do the bench. Let's do that. Not very efficient on space, but yeah. There we go. Does that take away from the chair? It does. We need the chair still, too. Yep, we need the chair. The chair will be to sit in the corner and read a book. I'll have a little reading table. There. That's nice. Okay, then we have the one item stand. We can, for example, it'll be like this. We'll put shields up. Wonder how much. Let's bite the bullet. Let's go ahead and do it. So let's put another one right here. I want that shield. That's my shield. I forgot to put a cool design on it, so it's kind of boring. So let's actually just make some right now. Let's see, wood, resin, leather scraps. That's cheap and easy to make. We can do that. Get the wood. Get the resin. We'll make 2 wooden shields. Alright, style. That'll match the blue of the banner. Yeah, that'll fit the best. So let's make 2 of these. Cool. All right. It's starting to look nice. I like it. Okay, and I need to go to bed in real life here in a second, so it'll be really easy to just keep getting caught up on different tasks and stuff. But so let's finish this up real quick. I wanted to make a fermenter. So I need fine wood, bronze, and resin. Let's go ahead and get the fine wood. Bring it in here. Drop that. And then let's grab this to make the bronze. And we need the resin. How much? What is it? 5? 5 bronze. Okay. There we go. Fermenter number 1. Eventually we'll have a second, but let's go ahead and make the mead kettle. I need leather scraps. Actually, the plan was to have 2 fermenters, but that was from his video, which was before this was added. So now I think we add the mead kettle here. That's awfully small, though. Might make more sense to have like it actually have it here, and then we can have a second fermenter. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, we did another fire. Well, that makes sense to have it here then, because we need the kettle. Or we need the fire. Again, we can stand here and access all 3. Cool. So that means the fermenter is just for wine, I think, now. Huh. Oh, no. The mead bases were taken out of the cauldron. We make them here, and then we ferment them in this. So it's still, we still need all that. Okay, that makes sense. All right, now we need we need to smelt more copper is what we need. No, I dropped it here. We have some more. Fine wood. And we can make a second fermenter. Okay. And if I don't do this now, I'm going to forget. I typically don't build flat on the ground like this. I did because he did in the instructions and stuff, but typically I build it up on a slight foundation, but I didn't want to mess with the structural integrity of the house. So what we're gonna do, because I just noticed when I was hobbling along like this that I'm getting stuck on the lip. We're gonna do this. A tiny little stair. Nobody's ever gonna notice that, but I'll know. It just makes it that slight bit easier to actually make it into the house. Alright, I'm gonna keep thinking of things to do. I'm not careful, so I think it's time to go ahead and call it a night. So let's put this stuff away. I don't even need to do that. I just need to stop before I keep thinking of things to do. So really happy with where we ended today. Nice play session in general today, both on and off stream. Just a quick recap. Oh man, they're breaking that. We finished up the bridge, built this house. Again, big props to Klauproof, and thank you for creating such a beautiful, efficient little starter house. So I will link that video in the description of this stream so that people can find it on the playlist. And then we also made the dock. We pulled the trigger on switching into full-blown hardcore mode with turning off the map and portals. And then we did a bunch of mining and are pretty well set up to start making some better weapons, armor, upgrading axe and stuff. I need to probably do another 10 run, but we'll do all that tomorrow. Okay. Thanks for watching and hanging. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. I probably will after the girls go to bed. I might stream No Man's Sky, honestly, because the current expedition that's going on ends on Christmas Day, and I still had some work to do on that. It's not done. So I might knock that out because I wanted to unlock that ship that's available on this expedition. Anyways.